Thanks, you guys, for coming by. I have an exclusive guest today. I am speaking with Mack Mama. So I hope you guys will enjoy the interview. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate all of the follows. Hashtag Ask Diva, AskDeeva. Make sure you are following me on Instagram as well as on all of the podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast as. Welcome to our Indian guest over in India. I'm excited about being on your platform. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in and Insta and Twitter. Mz DeeVa, the number 4 YOU. Let's bring our guest on. Tell your friends, tell another friend to tune in to the Ask Diva show. Hey. Hey, beauty, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you well. Thank you so much for coming by the show. I'm excited. I'm excited. Always. This is not your first time with Diva, but your first time on this platform, right?
I'm excited too. Let me get this. I got my dapper. I don't know how a fly got in here, baby, but I'm
used to it.
I couldn't figure out how to get on. Then I was trying to get this fly. He got in here and driving me crazy. But I am so excited to get on your live.
So am I.
Interview, honey. I am just like stoked for it. What's going on?
Not much. And you know what? Rapper, author, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, community activist, Black Lives Matter protester, and so much more. You have to tell the viewers all about Mack Mama. You guys are going to tell you how to follow her in just a few, but we're just going to get a great conversation going because I want you guys to know all about her. She has a new song called Talk to Me. No Justice, No Peace. You guys have seen the video over on YouTube. I've shared that with you. So tell us about the song in a few, but let's start out. Just tell us about Mack Mama.
Okay, because I can't really hear you good for some reason. It's like every other word you're saying, so it's like a bad connection.
Okay, hold on.
You said tell you about the song.
Let's tell the viewers about who you are and the song. So we're going to turn the volume up here. Hold on one moment, okay? Turn the volume up. One moment.
Connecting. Please wait.
I'm an entertainer. I'll talk to you about that a little bit more on a new format that's coming out that I'm going to be heavy on. But basically, when I say I'm an entertainer, I'm a public speaker, so I have a lot of things going on in the entertainment field. But my main entertainment form is rapping. I've been a rapper for over probably 20 years. I never went mainstream, but I had a huge underground following, and I want to say from 2000s to 2005, and then my career crumbled on me because I caught a bid and I had to go to jail.
Right.
Once I went to jail, when I came home from that bid, I did 5 years. I decided, you know what, let me switch lanes, and I started writing. And I wrote, the first book I wrote was Tales of Original Bad Girl, which is
Loved it.
In my life.
Loved it. I have my copy. Yes.
And so I continued to write. I got I got 3 books I'm about to drop very shortly, but I got 4 books out now, and so I continued to write, and I became a life coach, physical therapist, a recovery coach, and so I was in that field. But you know what? When you have a talent for something that you love to do and it's a passion, you always come back to it.
That's right.
So fast forward to now, the revolution that we are in. I was just like watching it every day. I wasn't on the forefront. I never got to really go out and protest. I live in Connecticut now, a little sleepy town in Connecticut, but they don't want no smoke out here.
Right. That's so not Connecticut.
Yeah. So I'm on the the internet every day, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I remember when Rayshard Brooks got shot. That was when I snapped. I said, no, enough is enough. And I went to the studio, and I went to the studio, and I wasn't really intending. I was just saying enough is enough because I was about to go out there and start protesting and join the movement.
Right.
And when I went to the studio, somebody just happened to tell me to come by because they wanted me to write and get into a situation for writing for another artist.
Right.
And I happened to hear a beat, and I was like, yo, let me hear that beat. And I just wrote what came, it just spilled out of me.
Right.
And so that was the first verse, which was what we all was feeling, the anger, you know, that the protesters feel, the looting, you know, the insanity that would make you go that far, because that's what it is.
That's good trouble. That good trouble.
Frustrated.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so I wrote that verse, and then I went home and I said, okay, the second verse, how much more can I talk? How mad can I get? You know, I already said everything because I've been through a lot. I had just lost my grandmother. They lied and said she had COVID-19. She did not. That's a story. We can talk about that. But what they're doing to the elderly people with this COVID-19 stuff, how they're just killing them, letting them die, and putting the COVID on them so they can get funding.
Right.
So I said, you know, well, what can I say on the second verse? And then I heard about this woman, Carol Horn, and she was a former police officer. She tried to do the right thing. Her partner was using an illegal chokehold on a perp, and she interjected. The partner, white cop, flipped on her, punched her in the face, attacked her. When they got back to the precinct, honey, they fired her and told her she was obstructing. And she lost her pension. She was on the job for 19 years, had lost her pension behind it. And I had just read that, and I said, that's what I'm going to do the second verse about. The perspective of a good cop.
Right.
That's trying to stand up and trying to, you know, stop and intervene. But, you know, frustration because, you know, you can't really, you know, do what they need to do. They're going to lose their career. But, you know, I wanted to, because I just felt like all cops are not bad cops. Because I have a few police officers in my family, and they are just getting vilified. And
That's
they
right.
Depressed.
That's right. I'm the mother of a police officer, and I just am disappointed to see that people have this all mindset to where they think it's all versus thinking individually. You know what I mean? So
yes. So that's why I wanted to write the second verse. You know, just to have, you know, if it's just one or two, three people heard, 3 cops heard it. You know what I mean? Or 3 good cops and 3 bad cops. 3 good cops is like, yes, Mack Mama, finally somebody understands. But the 3 bad cops, you know, maybe they can say, well, damn, this is really deep, because not really thinking about, because the bad cops to me are all just the racist KKK that infiltrated the police department.
That's it.
I mean, that's just who they are.
That's just what it is. Yeah.
That their agenda was to join the police department.
That's right.
To exterminate black.
Just call a thing a thing. Let's just.
That's what it is.
That's it. That's what it is.
But maybe if they can hear, like, you know, something that could jar them, like, come on, like, we are human too. That's why when they say all lives matter, I say at the end of the song, we're not saying all lives don't
That's
matter.
Right. That's
we're
right.
saying we're human too.
Right.
Because it's to the point where you're not, and when I say you're the racist people of the world, whoever you are not looking at black people as human beings.
That's right.
We went through that from slavery. We were considered 3/4 of a human.
Right.
That mentality is still being hurt.
Yes.
And so that's why I wrote this song.
All right, but Brit Reborn says, talk to him. Yes, indeed. Like, that is all that it is, that we see the officers that are doing wrong. They are the product of Jim Crow. They are the product of individuals that raised them that way, or they somehow went in the military, got out, and they became this angry person against black skin. So it doesn't matter what brown and black skin. Have you ever been to San Antonio, Texas, and the sign says, have you ever been pulled over and accused of being guilty of driving while brown? It says that for a reason. Attorneys have those signs up for a reason. So it's not to say that all cops are bad. I'm not a fan of hearing all cops are bad. I don't want to hear it. I'm a mother of a cop. I don't want to hear it. So not, you know.
Many mothers of cops.
Right.
Sisters and brothers of
That's
cops.
right.
Whatever race you are, you have a family member, a auntie, somebody, an uncle that may be a part of, the Department of Corrections and police. And you know that they're not bad people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it hurts you to see when the whole world turns against someone you love.
That's right.
And that's where I was at with it. Because, I mean, come on, think about it. I wrote the song. The irony of it all is that I'm an ex-con that wrote a song in defense of a good cop.
I had to have you on. I knew your story. I read the book, so I know her story. You need to go read the book. Yeah. Yeah.
Out of everybody in the world, there's only a handful of percentage of people that really come into police contact on a daily basis, and that's black men.
That's right.
All the time. And there's a few black women that may be in the criminal justice system that, commit crimes or got in trouble, or, I was a hustler, so this wasn't just a one-time thing with me. That was actually a lifestyle for me.
Right.
Years.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. I can't take it back. I can't front. I wrote a book.
No, I mean, we all have our life experiences. I tell people all the time, people start at my story. I think sometimes people start at me being a war widow, and you have no idea. When a cop called me a nigga in Austin, Texas, I gave it everything that I had, and I ended up in jail for responding to that. So you don't know my story at just one part,
That's right.
So yeah. And it does.
So for me to write that song, I just think it speaks volume as a human being, because I came from it from a human. I'm a human being, and I just felt like everybody that's going, I see what my people went through. Like, they didn't want to go to work. Some people, was like, what? Instead of me, being on the front line or the protest, I'd rather get penalized or fined and not go in at all. And still, because they still get paid sometimes. You can make that choice too. But some people just, have to do their job, and they're like feeling crazy because they want to get down with the protesters.
Right.
They want to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why you see so many cops kneeling and beginning to, join in and try to.
They're humans. They're humans.
Too. Come on, how can you not be affected by looking at a white man kneeling on a human being, your brother, if you're black, but just a human being, if you're any other ethnicity.
Right.
And while this man is begging, pleading, calling for his dead mama, and so it touches you. It affects
anybody that has a heart. You're not going to be. You're not going to look at that and not respond.
So think about the cops that work with these depraved animals, these KKK that infiltrated the force, these gang members.
Every force.
As I call them. So imagine working with them and you're scared to intervene, or you can't because you're going to get, ostracized or lose your job like Carrie on.
Right.
So now that's why we have to stand behind the legislator, Carrie's law. And she's really trying to get that passed. And this case was like from 9-10 years ago.
Right.
But since George Floyd, they reopened up her case. They're trying to get her pension back and trying to pass this law, which would make it your duty as a police officer to intervene if you see your partner, with any kind of misconduct, especially aggression and arrest, or not only just a legal chokehold, but just punching them and fighting them, and you don't do that. Your job is to arrest somebody, detain them, and you take them to a precinct.
That's
and
right.
You let the law take care of that.
That's right.
There's now you becoming a vigilante.
That's right.
And them and all of that, they already going to get beat up by their lives being turned around.
That's right.
The judge gave them 20 years for a crime that a white person do that get 5.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't need to do that. You make the arrest, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been seeing. We have not seen yet nobody really in a battle or pulling out for, somebody shooting at the cops. Of course they're going to shoot back.
Right. Now, come on. That's common sense.
That's common.
We're not supporting criminals. We're asking for you to support the human life. We don't support people that are acting up. We're never in support of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just on a side note, because I know people are like, what the fuck she doing? I have my fly swatter. I don't know how this fly got in.
It's summertime.
I zapped this son of a gun 3 times. I don't know what he's on. It's like a superpower, a super villain fly. He has not died.
See, it's the spirit. It's the spirit of the ancestors. They want you to know that they are understanding the mission that you are on. Indeed.
Okay. Well, you know what? You saved his life.
See, not now, right?
I'm gonna let him rock because he's right. He might just be the spirit of my ancestors.
That's right. That's right.
The cops do.
Trying to let this message fly out to the universe. That's exactly what the fly is doing. Yeah.
So that's
but you know what, Mack Mama, you're beautiful. You have a voice that it could reach so many people. So I love that you use your platform and the skill that you have to do that, to not only do your skill and do your other messages that you do in your music, but you also stop And you came back for us and said, I'm going to give you guys an anthem, because we need musicians to do that for us. We need an anthem to march to. The little girl in the video, who is she?
I love her.
I do too. Yeah.
I got her off. Well, I've seen her like everybody else seen her. And when I tell you that little girl,
Yeah.
I love her.
I do too.
It's so funny that you said, who is she? Because I've been Googling. I'm trying to get hopefully people that see this live.
Right.
Let her parents know.
Right.
That I would like to donate. I want to do an interview with her.
Yes.
On my platform. And I would like to donate a small check. I ain't rich. I ain't I ain't really a celebrity.
Right.
But I got a check for her towards
That's
her
right.
education.
Her passion in her voice, her passion in her face and her eyes, and you just got to go watch the video. It's going to give you everything that's coming from our soul. And I said, yes, baby, yes. That's exactly how we feel.
It's her parents. It's her parents
that's right.
that instilled that in her.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to come on and I want to interview her parents, because, see, that's where what we need for this new generation.
That's
see,
right. Yeah.
The parents have to let them know what the ancestors been through.
That's right.
You know what I did with my kids?
Yeah.
I sat them down years ago and made them watch Roots. I made them watch the Nat Turner Revolt.
Yeah.
Anything that comes on, any black slavery movie that come on, we sit there as a family and we watch
That's
it.
good.
And I
Powerful.
explain to them what our ancestors went through.
That's right.
Because a lot of this generation really, that's why they don't have no fear. Because they don't really even know what
Right.
really
Right.
And
they don't know the response. Yeah.
To respect our ancestors and the freedoms we have, you have to know what they've been through. And it's not what's being taught in school.
That's
you have
right.
to teach your children at home about black
history,
black cultures,
That's
black
right.
inventors,
That's
how
right.
many things that we have contributed to this world,
Yes.
black kings and queens. Because if you leave it up to the system, they're going to get the watered down, washed up version about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
That's right. And no disrespect to those brothers for doing all that they did, but that's not all that were out there, and it's not the whole story. No.
And I love the fact that when Jamie Foxx came out with that movie, The Django.
Right.
Oh, I love that movie. Because
That is my movie.
Tired of them showing the past slave.
Right.
You know, there was, you know how many revolts there were?
Right.
That they don't like to talk about.
Right.
Which is one of them. It's over 100 slavery
Right.
revolts that happened. And they just wasn't having it. They wasn't all just laying down to the fort.
That's the part. That's the part that Django did so well. Tanashi Coates? He wrote a book where he talked about all of us didn't speak the way that they taught you that we speak, okay? That's what the image that white America wanted to put out. But there were many of us that were intelligent. And there's just so many parts of our story that were not put out there. But it's there for you guys at the Library of Congress. You want to go see the truth.
And just like, I love the Netflix special about, what's her name? The beautiful woman that invented the hair product.
Right. I know what you're talking about. Walker. I just have Walker. Madam C.J. Walker. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
Overlooked. Because you have young people that say Oprah's the first millionaire. No, we love our sis, but no.
Yeah, we know exactly, but no. And
Yeah.
There's just so much, and that's what we need. We need those type of stories to be told.
Right.
And segue into, I'm writing a book called Talk to Me, so it's based
Good.
on the video. It's going to be like a 2020 Crash. Remember Crash?
And you always do that with your books. Your first book, you gave us the music, so I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
in me. I cannot.
Yeah.
I don't care how old I get, honey. Because long as I still look good.
That's right. And that's 24/7. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Society will have you think. Let me share something with you. I'll never forget. I was watching Wendy Williams one day, and I forgot who was on, what artist she was yapping about, but it was an older artist, and she was a female, and she said, and I'm so mad at Wendy because I was a Wendy fan, and she lost me after that day. I ain't gonna lie. Then another time I met her, and she wasn't very nice, and then she really turned me off. But I watch it because it's entertaining.
Right.
But after that day, she touched me in a way, and it turned me so off, and it messed with me mentally years after that. She said And then she said that a couple of times, but I'm paraphrasing now, but the bottom line is she said the girl was too old to be putting out music and she needs to sit down now. And for someone like me that never really maximized on my talent, you understand what I'm saying? Because I have 100 songs in the catalog that's not even released.
Speak on it.
I really got a chance to
Speak on
get
it.
my shine, to get the, to become a star.
That's right.
That brought tears to my eyes.
That's
and I
right.
got chills thinking about it now. And
Right.
it did a lot mentally.
Yeah.
He made me
That brought tears to my eyes too. Yeah, that shouldn't be said.
She made, and as a black woman with
That's
the
right.
platform that she had,
Right.
it was wrong.
Right.
Because she, and I'm a strong individual.
Right.
She fucked me up.
Right.
I watched that shit.
Right.
And I was like, damn.
She killed thousands of dreams because so many people, because society says that you're not the right look, or society says that you're too old, and society does that to people on jobs. Regular everyday people without that skill, Mack Mama, they go through that. They tell them they're too old to be going to work. As long as they get up every morning, can put their clothes on, brush their teeth, and take off,
That's right. Listen,
they can do the job.
Right now, we're in the age right now. I don't care how old you are. If you got a camera and you have an audience.
Hello?
If you got a camera, you have an audience.
Hello?
Now, you put it out there. They like it. They don't. But just like you promote everything else,
You promote yourself. You don't have to have a team. Yes.
Feel you. Someone, and
That's
it doesn't
right.
have to necessarily be in the music field. It could be as an artist.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It can be. There's so many artists that died, that became famous after their death, which is so unfortunate.
I hate that.
You know what I mean? But people were up on them after they died.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got the flowers. You know
Right.
what I mean? But as long as you have a computer, you have an internet, baby, you can be on your own live, make
That's
your own
right.
podcast, put your songs out, the streaming services. My music is
Right.
on every streaming platform.
And she is, you guys. I wanted to make sure that you are able to tell them, looking at the time there, I want to make sure that you tell them, how do they follow you on YouTube and other places to listen to your music?
You can see the video that we're talking about on YouTube, or my page is Mack Mama, MackMama. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
And turn on the bell, notifications.
Yes, and notifications, because there's going to be a lot coming out. I got the bug now. I'm back in the studio. So also, if you want to buy my books, you can go to my website, which is myblackbusiness.net. And you can get my books directly from me. I will autograph them and sign them and send them to you. I think my music is on there too, the old school CDs, because I still have CDs too. But if you want to stream, I'm on iTunes, Mack Mama, the soundtrack to Tales of Original Bad Girl, which is, each song is the title of the chapter in the book. So it's real ill how I did that. And then in the book, I break down where my inspiration was, where I was at in my life, what made me write the song. And then you can actually hear the music while you read it or after you're reading it. And you can download that right from iTunes or Google Music, Amazon Music. Just put in Mack Mama, MackMama.
Okay.
If you want to go and really get the history behind my music, go to .pit, all my music heads. Y'all know about .pit. I got all my mixtapes on there. I'm on SoundCloud, Mack Mama, and it's so easy to find me because it's always MackMama.
Right.
If you want to follow my socials, I am Mack Mama on Instagram, Mack Mama on Facebook, Twitter, Mack Mama, and any other one. I'm on everybody, Mack Mama.
You guys, and for those who are listening to the podcast, I want to make sure that you go to her Twitter, go to her Instagram, and definitely I want you to support the music and support the books. But if you want to do a donation to this lady who is getting out there on the front lines, please make sure that you do that. We will like for you to share. Do you have a Cash App? If not, you can contact her directly in the DM if you want to do
I don't mess with Cash App. Cash App be doing too much hacking, and I had a problem with Cash App.
Ooh, she gonna make me delete my Cash App, you guys.
Yeah, baby, I'm just connected my cousin's whole checkout update. Girl, don't get me started.
Okay, so X on the Cash App, but I do want to make sure that you can do a donation because she said something in the beginning.
They can go to PayPal.
PayPal.
They go to PayPal. My PayPal is starstatus14@hotmail.com. That's
starstatus14@hotmail.com.
And then I like Zelly, because Zelly go right into your account.
That's right.
You put in my phone number, and I'll give you my phone. I don't care, because they start acting stupid. I just hang up because I answer all my calls. So I hang up. So.
She's not scared of you, spammers.
Right through my phone number, 203-873-9784. That's my Zelly. And then there's a new format that's coming out that I'm going to be a huge part of. It's called Zap Life.
Yes.
And it's launching. DJ Envy is talking about all the DJs. It's now starting to promote it. Y'all going to hear about it heavy. So it's Labor Day weekend is actually dropping. It's launching. And it's a live stream format. And I'm going to be on there heavy doing a lot of content. And see, with that format, you can tick me directly. And I love that.
I love that. So you guys, what I want you to know is that you can, these are the ways, especially the Zap Life, because she'll be able to get her money right away. I want you guys to do this because this is someone who has experienced a lot. She's been a part of our unfair judicial system. She recovered from that. She's been a part of the medical drama and disparities that we see happening in Black America with the COVID-19 crisis. There are so many things that she's been through. She persevered. She deserves your support to continue to do what it is that she's doing. All right, Mack Mama, tell us that story, if you will. While we have a few minutes, can you give us the feedback on what's going on in regards to the inaccuracies that happened with the loss of your grandmother? And our condolences to you on that.
Oh, my God. Okay, really quickly. My grandmother was 95 years old, so she was old. She lived a beautiful life. Janie Williams. And she was talking like me and you talk, okay? I had went to see my grandmother that Wednesday. She lives in Brooklyn. I would always go down to see her, and I made sure that she had a home care at night and during the day. And so she was fine. Her home attendant was there, her living home attendant, great friend of mine, Margaret, she was taking care of her. No one was sick. My grandmother was talking like me and you. We watched the news together. We talked about Trump. We cracked jokes on him. And she said to me, she said, Toki, that's what she called me, they are killing off the elderly. She said, if I go to any hospital, I'm not going to make it out. And I said, Nana, you're right. That was Wednesday. I left Friday. I spent 2 nights with her, mind you. Never got sick, didn't have no symptoms, nobody sick. Monday, my grandmother wakes up, she calls me and says, Nana's not talking, she's not being responsive. So, of course, we call the ambulance. The ambulance, her blood sugar was low. They gave her a shot and didn't bring it back up. A little bit it leveled her, but she still wouldn't talk. I believe my grandmother had a stroke because she was already complaining about her right arm. And when I had stayed with her these days, I was massaging her arm. She laid her out in the recliner, making sure her arm was propped up on the pillows. I believe she had a stroke because I've seen them symptoms in other people, you know, other elderly people. It starts off with that pain in their arm.
That's right.
And then they can't talk. And she was, so I believe she had a stroke. So anyway, she gets to the hospital. Remember, she's nonverbal. So now, they won't let us back there. I was on my way coming from Connecticut. She said, don't even bother to come because they're not letting nobody in. It was Brooklyn Hospital, notorious how they handled this whole COVID situation in Brooklyn. So the doctor now, to the benefit of the doctors, they called on, like they said they would call. They gave me the call. In 30 minutes, they called me. And they said, well, she's incoherent. Does she have dementia? I said, no. My grandmother don't have no dementia. And I told him, I said, I think she had a stroke. Check her brain waves, you know, whatever the stroke test that y'all do. Of course, he said he would. This was in March, where the hospitals were just flooded with people with COVID-19. So, the third hour, 2 hours later, another doctor calls me, female doctor, and she says, well, we're going to do all the tests. We're doing a COVID test. We're going to do the test. I told her again about the stroke theory that I had. But we'll test her for that. Now, mind you, this is from 11 o'clock in the morning. I spoke to this doctor about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So she calls back again, and now I'm crying. I'm telling them, well, can I sign a waiver? I don't want my grandmother to be there by herself waiting, you know, while y'all do these tests. She's still not talking. Can you please allow me to sign a waiver? And for my safety, I don't care. I want to come in that hospital with my grandmother. She said, I'll find out about that. The next call was at, I want to say, 6 or 7 o'clock. She said, unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I have to tell you, your grandmother didn't make it. She died. So now, I know, and anybody from New York knows that in a crowded hospital in Brooklyn, any of them, but especially Brooklyn. You're not going to tell me, because she told me that they ran all of these tests, that y'all took my grandmother upstairs to the labs, did all these tests.
Tell the truth.
Downstairs. They didn't do nothing. They pushed my grandmother in the back of that emergency room and I don't even know if they gave her fluids. I doubt they gave my grandmother fluids.
That is heartbreaking.
They pushed her in the back and let my grandmother die. Now, no, I didn't see this, but I know it in my heart.
Right, you can feel it. Yeah.
Listen, my grandmother was too strong. Anybody that know me can go on my Facebook and see videos of my grandmother talking her dome. You go on my YouTube page talking about Puppy. My grandmother was hilarious.
Yeah.
She was a strong African American woman. Her mother died at 104.
She had much more life to live. Yeah.
Now the stroke might have disabled her. You know what
I
mean? But what I'm telling you is that here's how I know she didn't have corona. They told me she had coronavirus. They said that it was indicative in the test from a test they took with her lungs that she had coronavirus. The home attendant that worked with my grandmother every day, to this day, is not sick. The woman that I had watching my grandmother at night, to this day, is not sick. I was with my grandmother for 3 days before.
Valid argument. Valid.
So that's why I feel so justified that she did not have no coronavirus.
That's right.
They're putting that on the elderly, and they're putting it on regular people too for funding. When you on your death certificate, if you have coronavirus as the cause of death, those hospitals get paid for each person that's diagnosed with that, and die because of it.
So that is something that I've seen medical experts talk about as well. Early this morning on CNN, the black medical doctor that was speaking about, she's not comfortable with the things that she's seeing that are not accurate. She's seeing that the black community is being the persons that are taking the hit for, again, what she called racism in the medical field.
But listen, not only did I have to go through that, we couldn't bury her. They couldn't find her body for 30 days. They had her in that meat truck outside of the hospital. Could not find her body for 30 days. By the time they found her body, it's mandatory cremation in the state of New York if you have COVID as the cause of death. Right. So now we have to, and she was so adamant that she didn't want to be cremated. So now we have to cremate her. They couldn't find her belongings. I didn't get her the jewelry that she had, her possessions that she had on her. So I took an L for that. Governor Cuomo has given the hospitals immunity, so you can't try to sue them.
No lawsuits.
It's nothing you can do.
Right.
By the time, man, this messed us up so bad because my grandmother was a leader in her church. She, even though we were going through COVID, I still wanted to do a memorial for her, which I am still going to do next year. Let me say this. I did a magazine for her. Oh, the magazine is beautiful.
Okay.
It's a 100-page magazine.
Yes.
With pictures from her youth, her whole life.
Right.
Sent in beautiful letters, and I got it made. You know, I'm a publisher. You know, I'm gonna have my. You have. She's a publisher, you guys. If you guys don't know, she's got the skill going already. So I love that vision. So we're gonna do the magazines. The magazines will be ready. I just gotta get them printed up. And for the memorial. And so she's gonna be memorialized in a special way next year. Hopefully, all of this stuff will be died down.
Now, I do not want Instagram stories to cut you off because they did that to my other guests, and I felt bad. But that's okay. But I want you guys to make sure that you go over to Mack Mama. I want you to call her onto your show so that she can tell her story on your show as well. I need your story to go viral. I do. I don't need it to happen just on my platform. What you went through is impacting 2020, and your story needs to be told, and they have to put it on a bigger platform because then there's accountability when the people are starting to tell what happened. So thank you for the song Mothers of Cops Everywhere. We're excited for that. We thank you for seeing the other side. We thank you for putting their stories out there and making people see them as humans, as well as saying, no, still, Black Lives Matter, and we're not going to have you guys disrespecting us either. So, Mack Mama, you did a lot here today, and I thank you for that, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you. Now, I know that the ancestors will be okay with you taking that fly's life at this point, because...
I caught him.
You got him.
I got him.
She got him.
I caught him on the back here side.
I love it. I love it. Thank you to you and Sparkles. I appreciate you giving me your time, okay? Thank you.
I appreciate you having me, Ms. DeeVa.
Yes.
Anytime, baby. Just
Thank
holler
you.
at me.
I appreciate it.
All right.
You guys, that was Mack Mama. And thank you guys so much for coming by again. Another Ask Diva. Yes, I was able to save it. Okay, so now what I can actually edit. Can you still hear me? From this, sorry. From this. Thanks, guys.